welcome to Reuters on the Road and the Internet of Things. That is a phrase that you read when you go onto Cosm's website. Osman Haq is the founder of Cosm, and he joins me in the cab. Now, the one solution, Osman, that brings ideas about the world to the world, explain that to me, explain the Internet of Things to me. Explain to me what you do.
Okay, so the Internet of Things, it's a phrase to describe a burgeoning industry where the Internet is used not just to connect up mobile phones and computers, but when sensors, energy monitors, weather stations, these kinds of things are connected to the Internet so that their data can be stored online, can be accessed online, so you can start to build applications on top of the data.
And what does Cosm do? You build these things, or you bring these people together?
Cosm is a kind of generalized data broker, if you like. It sits in the middle. You could almost think of it like Twitter, but instead of handling messages from people, it's handling messages from air quality monitors, from devices, appliances, from machines that are reporting their status. And effectively it makes it a lot easier for these things to talk in a kind of common language.
So, some people are calling this the third industrial revolution. Is that a little bit hyped, or do you think that is an accurate description of what this could be?
It is a massive new industry, because what happens is that you actually enable businesses, if you like, to kind of cooperate, because these devices, when they can talk to each other, they actually benefit each other. So you might find a weather station benefiting from the data that comes from energy monitors, for example. You can start to do energy predictions based on what a weather station is telling you.
So you help companies bring these products to market, but you also prototype new internet-based products, I guess. That's what this platform allows you to do.
So we're really focused on making this as simple as possible, because it is quite an early stage in the Internet of Things. But we want to help make entrepreneurs more productive, if you like, help make companies more productive. So if, for example, you might be very good, and this is actually a specific example from Cosm, you might be very good at building a plant monitoring device. You might be very good at actually distributing that device to customers, but you don't know anything about how to connect that to the network. You don't know anything about actually managing the masses of data that's going to come from all these devices once your customers have hands on it. So we make that part very easy.
Now, you set up a business, Patchby.
That's right, Patchby.
How long ago did you set that up?
Originally about 5 years ago.
And you sold that to the US company LogMeIn for about 15 million last year.
That's right, yeah.
And they
US dollars.
And US dollars. And they now run Cosm, is that right?
That's right.
And you act as the CEO of this company for them?
No, actually there is a general manager, but I'm still involved in the sort of the general direction.
Is it another example of a good British idea ending up in US hands?
You could say that, except that this is actually an international phenomenon, right? I mean, the Internet of Things is necessarily...
But are Americans generally better entrepreneurs, or at least better at managing entrepreneurial ideas?
I did have quite a tough time raising funding when I was, I was in London trying to raise funding for this thing. And it's interesting that the Internet of Things is actually, and has historically been, bigger in Europe than in the US, but I think that the US has actually captured the imagination.
Do you get a sense now, and we've spoken to a lot of entrepreneurs here in London recently, do you get a sense that there is a momentum building in London, and London is actually the place you want to be if you're in this space?
Definitely. I mean, if I had the choice to do it all over again, I would still do it in London, because there is here a confluence of, it's not just about the tech and engineering, it's not even just about the business.
Right.
It is about the culture of building this kind of new industry, building these new phenomena.
How do you make money from this business?
From Cosm?
Yeah.
Cosm, well, it basically, if you are, as I described, making that product, then we would charge in the same way that Amazon Web Services charges for its sort of online.
And how much money are you making now? What's your revenue?
We're not actually able to say that right now because it's a public company.
Is that revenue growing?
Yes.
It is growing substantially every year, would you say?
Well, if you can consider us really pre-revenue in those.
So you're not making a profit yet?
No.
Okay. When do you expect to be making a profit?
That's not something I think we're allowed to talk about as a publicly listed company.
By the way, we're about three-quarters of the way around at this nice red light where I can really try and grill you on the finances here, make it even more awkward. So you don't want to talk money at all? Can you give me an idea of how much you charge for the type of project that you discussed with me back there?
No, I can't. I really cannot talk about these things. I've been instructed by the legal team not to talk about finances. To explain as well. I mean, every single thing is completely different. Every single product will be.
But you can make a decent living out of this.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. I mean, think of it like, as I described it, as an Amazon Web Services that effectively provides a sort of an infrastructure where you don't need to worry about it. It's a sort of software as a service. And so there's.
Who are your competitors? Who are your major competitors?
There are big guys and there are small guys.
Who are the big guys that I might know?
IBM, Cisco,
okay,
SAS.
I know them. Yeah. I'm not as ignorant on this as I seem. Okay, so the IBMs of the world, and how much business do you really think you can claw from these people, these companies?
There's two things. One is we're actually doing it, whereas they're still talking about doing it. Mm-hmm. They do recognize the big opportunity, but they're not necessarily actually getting their hands dirty as we are. Secondly, we do it very, very well because we've been working on it for several years now, and we've cracked a lot of the technological aspects. So I think we could grab a substantial part of that business.
Plans for the next 2 to 3 years, just to finish up with?
Plans are basically to continue growing out the platform, really trying to make it easier and easier and easier to use. As you mentioned, when you went on the website, you're still a little bit confused.
Well, I guess it's the Internet of Things. It's the solution that brings idea about the world to the world. It seems very sort of kind of airy and woolly to someone like me.
Well, put it this way. 10 years ago, it might have been difficult for you to conceive of deploying a website, having your own website. But these days you can go onto a blog, you can actually set up your own system. That's our aim, to make it as easy as that.
We're back at Reuters. Osman, great to have you in the cab. Osman Haq, the founder of Cosm. That was Reuters on the Road. I'm Axel Threlfall.